Namo Buddhaya, Namo Amitabha. Hello everyone. So in our previous videos, we briefly discussed the different types of hells and the kind of sufferings that beings experience in the hell realm. So in this video, I feel like talking about Lord Yama. So Lord Yama in Buddhism is the supreme judge in the underworld. He's also known as the king of hell, who judges the dead according to the natural law of karma. Some people may think that Lord Yama can be quite evil, he judges and punishes the dead, but this is actually not the case. Lord Yama is actually also a Dharma protector, a Buddhist himself who has supreme respect for the Buddhist teachings. So he only judges according to the natural law of karma, the law of cause and effect, and he's fair and righteous. So unlike in our world, judges judge according to man-made law, man-written law. So sometimes what may deem as right in man-written law may not be the case in according to the natural law of karma. For instance, abortion. Abortion is considered okay and legal in some countries. But according to the law of karma, abortion is considered an act of killing because there is already consciousness in the fetus. And some people may not believe that the fetus already has consciousness. So it's the consciousness that gives rise to our physical body. So the consciousness is already there. So the Buddha has a very detailed descriptions on how the consciousness entered into the womb and how everything began to form them. So in the sutra called the Entry into the Womb Sutra, the Buddha described this process in detail. So as Buddhist, if you understand this, one should not have an abortion. But sometimes people just cannot afford to raise a child. What to do? So there are many families in our world that they want to have children, but they cannot have children. So for those who have unwanted children, maybe this could be also an alternative to give to families who want children but cannot have. So there is a movie called Unborn Child, a Thai movie that's based on a true story where the mother claimed that the ghost of her aborted child kept haunting her. So usually a child reincarnates into a family because of the four reasons. It can be any of the four reasons or a combination of these reasons. So it's not a coincidence that a particular consciousness that reincarnates into your family. So the four reasons are to pay gratitude, or to take revenge, or to pay your karmic debt, or to collect karmic debt from you. So if this consciousness came into your body to actually pay gratitude, but if you abort the fetus, then this gratitude could turn into hatred, and then the consciousness may try to take revenge from you. And if the consciousness came to you to take revenge and again you killed it, then this could aggravate his hatred against you. So it's not good to abort an unborn child. There is already consciousness in the fetus. And to carry out an abortion is to commit the act of killing a sentient being who has strong karmic connection with you. Sometimes an abortion may have to carry it out. For instance, if an abortion is not carried out, it could threaten the mother's life. If one has an abortion, one should give rise to the heart of repentance and really do a lot of good deeds to transfer merit to the aborted child and hope that he or she can attain a better rebirth in the next life. So what is considered to be right according to the man-made law may not be the case according to the law of karma. And the judge in the underworld, such as Lord Yama, acts entirely according to the law of karma. So he is fair and righteous. So Lord Yama and all the hell wardens, they are in their positions also because of their karma. So think about why someone became the judge of our Supreme Court, also because of his or her own karma. So the hell wardens and Lord Yama are in their positions also because of their own karma. In the Buddhist scriptures, there are very detailed descriptions on the Lord Yama and his palace, and also how he judged the dead. So I'll quote directly from the sutras. The Buddha said to the bhikkhus, "To the south of Jambudvipa, within the iron encircling mountains, is the palace of the king of the house, who rules over an area 6,000 yojanas long and wide. The castle consists of 7 concentric buildings and is ringed by 7 railings, 7 ornamental nets, 7 lines of trees, and so forth, with innumerable rare birds singing harmoniously together, just as in the other palatial settings. Thrice each night, the king of the house is confronted with a great copper cauldron that automatically appears before him. When the cauldron appears in the palace, the king is terrified and flees the palace grounds in order to get away from it. If he is outside the palace when he sees the cauldron, he is terrified and returns to the palace. But an imposing guard seizes the king, throws him down on a hot iron, pries his mouth open with an iron hook, and pours molten copper into it. The molten copper scalps his lips, tongue, and throat down to the stomach, eating away at everything. When his atonement is over, the king of the house resumes his life and once again enjoys his royal status with the palace ladies. The numerous ministers who also enjoy the rewards of their station undergo the same punishment." The Buddha said to the bhikkhus, "There are 3 messengers. What are the 3? The first is the messenger of old age. The second is the messenger of illness, and the third is the messenger of death. Any sentient being who has committed evil deeds in thought and speech, as well as with physical actions, falls into the house at the end of his or her life. The guards in the house lead them before the king of the house and report, 'It has been deemed proper by the messengers appointed by the heavens that these people should come to this court. May your majesty examine them and seek their response.' The king of the house asks an offender, 'Did you not see the initial messenger?' The offender replies, 'No, sir, I did not notice him.' The king asks again, 'While you lived among other humans, you must have seen old people whose hair had turned white, whose teeth had fallen out, who had gone blind, whose skin had become loose and wrinkled, whose backs were hunched, and who could walk only with a cane, uttering low moans and groans while their bodies trembled and their spirits declined. Have you not seen this?' The offender replies, 'Yes, sir, I have seen them.' The king asks again, 'Did you not think that you too would become like them?' The offender says, 'I was careless and indulgent, and it did not occur to me, sir.' The king replies, 'Since you were careless and indulgent, you were unable to control your physical, mental, and verbal actions, nor were you able to reform your evil habits or follow good ones. I must inform you about the suffering that results from careless indulgence in life.' The king goes on, 'Whatever punishment you must undergo is not due to the fault of your parents, your siblings, the law of the heavens, your ancestral spirits, your friends, servants, or employees. Nor is it due to the fault of any Shramana or Brahmana. It's solely due to your own faults, and so you must now accept the appropriate punishment.' After asking offenders about the first messenger, the king of the house questions them in relation to the second heavenly messenger. 'Didn't you see the second messenger?' An offender replies, 'No, sir.' The king asks again, 'While you live among other humans, you must have seen people with illness so serious that they could only lie on a couch stained with their own urine and excretions, unable to sit or stand, completely reliant on the help of others for their food and drink. Their 100 joints having become so painful, they moan and groan and shed tears, unable to speak a word. Haven't you seen such people? The offender replies, yes, sir. The king continues, why didn't you think that you too would become like them? The offender says, I was careless and indulgent, and it did not occur to me, sir. The king replies, since you were careless and indulgent, you were unable to control your physical, mental, and verbal actions, nor were you able to reform your evil habits or follow good ones. I must inform you about the suffering that results from careless indulgence in life. The king goes on, whatever punishment you must undergo is not due to the fault of your parents, your siblings, the Lord of the heavens, your ancestral spirits, your friends, servants, or employees. Nor is it due to the fault of any Shramana or Brahmana. It's solely due to your own faults, and so you must now accept the appropriate punishment. After asking offenders about the second messenger, the king of the house questions them in relation to the third heavenly messenger. Didn't you see the third messenger? An offender replies, no, sir. The king asks again, while you lived among other humans, you must have seen people die and their physical bodies dissolved as their life ends. Their faculties have ceased to function, their bodies as stiff as dry wood, and either thrown onto a cemetery mound to be packed by birds or animals, enclosed in a coffin within an external vault, or cremated in fire. Haven't you seen this? The offender replies, yes, sir, I have. The king continues, why didn't you think that you too would become like that? The offender says, I was careless and indulgent, and it did not occur to me, sir. The king replies, since you were careless and indulgent, you were unable to control your physical, mental, and verbal actions, nor were you able to reform your evil habits or follow good ones. I must inform you about the suffering that results from careless indulgence in life. The king goes on, whatever punishment you must undergo is not due to the fault of your parents or your siblings, the Lord of the heavens, your ancestral spirits, your friends, servants, or employees, nor is it due to the fault of any Shramana or Brahmana. It's solely due to your own faults, and so you must now accept the appropriate punishment. After taking the offenders through detailed questioning in relation to the three heavenly messengers, the king of the house hands them over to the guards, who lead them down to a great hell measuring 100 yojanas long and wide, and an equal depth below the ground. The Buddha said to the bhikshus, the king of the house thought to himself, no sentient being in the world is free from ignorance and delusion, and therefore he or she commits evil deeds physically, mentally, and verbally. Having done so, when their lives end, there is no one, with few exceptions, who is not subject to this kind of hellish suffering. If the sentient beings in the world would reform their evil habits, however, and control their physical, mental, and verbal actions, and thus engage in good conduct, they would enjoy happiness in a heaven after the end of their life, like the heavenly gods. If I should be born a human after my death and come into the presence of the Tathagata, I will shave my hair and beard under the guidance of the right Dharma, wear the 3 mendicant robes, renounce domestic life, attain pure faith, and engage in pure practice, so as to accomplish what must be done for salvation, acquire insight into the nature of things as they really are, and realize for myself in this life the direct experience that there is no more birth for me ever again in Samsara. Then the world-honored one uttered the following words, after seeing the heavenly messengers, if one carelessly continues to indulge in life, he or she accumulates worries and is reborn in a lower state. If one is wise on seeing the heavenly messengers, he or she will adhere to the Dharma of the saintly disciples and refrain from careless indulgence in life. Foreseeing rebirth in old age, illness, and death, one sees that deliverance only comes when there is no rebirth in samsara. By exhausting the cycle of birth, old age, illness, and death, one realizes eternal peace and happiness. By resolving to attain the transcendent goal in this life, one overcomes all worries and fears and is destined to realize final nirvana. So as we can see, Lord Yama often sends us messengers to remind us about impermanence and how we should really try to cultivate good deeds while we are here on earth. And we should really nianfo and vow to attain rebirth in Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land, so we can exit the cycle of reincarnation in one lifetime and to liberate from all sufferings in life. So in the next video, we'll talk about Bodhisattva Dīrgha, the Bodhisattva who is most renowned for saving sentient beings in the Hell realm, and we'll also look at how we can possibly help save sentient beings from the Hell realm. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Amitabha.